Today I'd like to review this Fender Acoustasonic Telecaster. This is an eBay purchase that went through the MIRC Refurbishing Center. Got a pouch here. All the goodies. Truss rod wrench. Charger. You can put your gig card in there, right? Nice. This is the American version. Got a two-way humidity control pack. This review is not really about the instrument. It's about my experience, the purchase, going through eBay and then the refurbishing company and testing the results. And when I got the guitar, it was slightly out of tune. Just had to raise it up a little bit. Sounds nice. So now I'd like to go over things I'm looking for. Flaws. What did this go into Refurbish Center for and to start with? So right there is a good sign. So I'll go over the things that I know to look for, and I asked the merchant a lot of questions about the guitar, and based on what he said, I'm going to compare to the guitar. So let's look at that next. I'm not going to go over everything. Generally, the finish is in nice shape, knobs feel good, everything looks nice on the guitar. I want to talk about the technical issues you might have. Next, we'll look at action. We're all the way up by the sound hole. That's pretty good. I mean, I'm not going to get measuring devices out. So we'll look down the other end. First fret. Look, it's right on it. So a check you can do is hold it here, and then see how much you got in between there, which is, it's right on. Because you don't want it to buzz. And I'm not getting any buzzing. Another thing I check, you don't need much pressure here. But you can go all the way back to there and get a decent sound. That's excellent. Here's the first 3 frets. And you want to check for wear, any kind of dings. The merchant said he's seen little to no wear. I think he said it that way just to cover all bases. I might see wear and he doesn't. We're looking for dings and I don't see any. Looks good. Here's the nut. What I'm seeing here is the string is laying halfway in the groove, which I like. I don't like them sunk way down. That would affect action. I think this is correct. That looks good. Also, I'll discuss intonation. The question I threw to the merchant is, how was the intonation? In other words, he could have tested the intonation with a tuner and said it's good. And that's all I needed. However, he said that there is no intonation on acoustic guitars. That's semi-correct. In other words, this is a fixed bridge without adjustments. However, you can shave one side or the other, here or at the nut, to fine-tune it ever so little. For example, you see this curve here. That's set back. That's intonation. From the factory, this one's slightly forward. Let me get a wider shot. In other words, that could be a flaw right there. If this was set in by the factory, ever so little bit this way or that way, it would destroy intonation. So all I was asking for is a check. However, we'll check that with the tuner soon. So here, I'm checking if the string is straight in line with the neck on both sides, which it is. Because sometimes you'll get a guitar and it'll be almost off the fret right here. And when you push on it, it falls off. This is good. That means your neck is not cattywampy with the body. And you want to sight down the neck. You're looking for any twisting or a bow in either direction. Of course, this has a truss rod that can be adjusted. It looks good. Opposite direction looks good. Then you want to get a piece of paper and see if you can get it underneath. That corner goes underneath right there, but not here. So what you're doing here is you're checking to see if it has lifted off, which, you know, all I got was this one little corner. So I'm going to deem that as good. So we got a few knobs, smooth. That could have been a little bit quieter. They got a little bit of softness in between them. No biggie, but it fits in the notch nice and tight. So we're checking for any looseness. It's all nice and snug. It's where you charge a battery. So under here is the rechargeable battery, and under here is the electronics for the sound, or if you lose your pick, go in there and find it. You got a bolt-on neck, and what you can do is look in the center of those Phillips screws to see if they've been removed before. You'll see evidence that they have. Of course, this went through a refurbish center, so they may have removed it, so it's not really that big a deal, but you can just see evidence or not. They changed the serial number, lightly stamped the headstock, used. Another nice feature, you have a neck adjustment here. You use a supplied Allen wrench. It also fits the truss rod. I'll show what each does. So you can use this adjustment and the truss rod adjustment corresponding to each other. Sometimes you might need more height in this area, and that will pitch this upward. Here's the truss rod adjustment. And the truss rod is to adjust for the bow in the neck, if you need more relief or not. So those two in conjunction with each other are excellent. From my understanding, the way guitars end up in a refurbishing center is at the factory there is some kind of a flaw, like in the finish, scratch, dings, something just isn't correct for their stamp of approval. So it gets sent off to them. They do any necessary repair. They put their stamp of approval on it and then send it to dealers for the market. So the fact that this has been gone over by a tech, and based on what the merchant said about the guitar, he said this guitar is as good as it gets, and so far it has checked out that way. So I'm going to show how to do intonation. I don't have a tuner with me, but you tune your guitar, and this would be E, and then you lightly touch the string on the 12th fret and pick it, and you get the harmonic, and it should match E. And if it doesn't, then your intonation's off on that string. Check each one. So I'm plugged in. Let me show you what I'm running through. I'm running through a home entertainment center. It's slightly EQ'd, and out that speaker. So I'm not going to go over all the settings and sounds and all that. There's plenty of videos out there for that. However, what I've noticed, this way's B and this way's A. And what I've noticed, B seems to have more punch on each switch. Now that last one's a bit overdriven. I think that's best for lead. So, I am just testing the electronics. I will probably find a sound that I like, pretty much stick with it. Nice! That sounds a little childish. Wow. Alright, we're just checking B-side first. Nice. I don't think it was a good setting for that song. Now this last one we went over, it's overdrive. So let's go to A and go down that list. So it's not very punchy. Same thing. Not bad. Nice. Well, we got this one. About the same. Crunchy. Enough of that, right? So, next video, I'll show how to hook up, play your guitar through the stereo. And this checks out good. I would definitely buy another one. I mean, I didn't find anything wrong with it. It plays nice. It sounds great. And it's easy to play. It's easy to press them strings. I believe these are 11 through 52. So, I'll put a link where I made this purchase on eBay. Ray Hill Audio. His name is Jeremy. I'll also include a link where Jeremy has an interview with a retail marketer. They talk about MIRC. I'd also like to add that this was professionally packaged inside the box and the case. I just did a quick unboxing for a mock-up. So I'll also do a video playing through a pedal board.